Are we live?
We are
Is
live.
is it real? Check us out.
It's real.
Oh my gosh, that's an old school song. Is it live? Is it real? Check it out. Okay, so for all those people that understood that lyric, we're telling on ourselves.
I won't
ah,
if you won't.
okay, I won't. ah, today is our Furious Friday, our Warrior Friday. It is October, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we have some sensitive topics to talk about. We won't go too deep because it's not that long, but with it being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we are all about circles and connecting mamas, it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart because I am a survivor of a double attempted homicide. I was 8 months pregnant when I was attacked, and it was by the father of my child. I had no family or friends around. I was over 1,000 miles away from home and seriously stuck. Couldn't fly, couldn't take a train, couldn't drive, couldn't do anything. Um, so with that being said, I just wanted to put out there that, domestic violence does not discriminate. The statistics of domestic violence have not ceased to amaze me in any way because it has been 1 out of 3 women that have either been exposed to or experienced a form of domestic violence, and it still stands true to this day. The statistics have changed for men. It used to be 1 to 7, 1 out of 7. Now it's 1 out of 4. So that just goes to show that domestic violence is still very much so in our lives, in our society, in our communities. And what I would like to talk about today here with Connecting Mamas is what we're exposing our children to, what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what environment that they are in. And more so, I guess I will have to circle that back around and say, acknowledge the environment that you're in first. Because it's important to know where you are. Our kids may not be able to articulate their words, but they can definitely feel our energy. And when
I can't
children
agree with that more, just in terms of how they feel. Like it's really, they don't really care what we say. Because I mean, you can look at it and say, I love you, but if you're screaming at someone, I love you, they don't hear it. They feel the words, the same thing. And so they're going to feel that energy that's going on around you. So you may think that you're doing them a service by saying in a situation that isn't good and saying, oh, we need to stay as a family, but they're feeding off of that energy, whether you think you're hiding it or not, and trying to keep the fighting or whatever is going on in your house behind closed doors. They know, they hear, they see the look on your face. And again, we want a role model for them, that happy, healthy adult. But if they're not able to see that, how can they ever aspire to be that? And so we got to take it just a step back and say, where am I at? And what example, what energy am I setting for my children?
That's right. That's right. And I believe that that goes into teaching them emotional intelligence as well, and it's kind of like, do as I say, not as I do. That's an old school statement that holds absolutely no value.
Did it ever really though?
I don't think so. So I don't know why it was not
I
done
mean,
away
you
with.
think about your parents when they told you something to do, what did you do when they said it and you saw them doing something else? I mean, what was your reaction? Think about that's the same way your kids are looking at you, in terms of if you're selling them something, but you're doing something different, they're not thinking any different than you did as a kid. I mean, think back to how you viewed your parents. And I
Yeah.
don't think that statement's ever really rung true. I mean, it's a true statement in terms of people thinking it might work, but I don't think it ever did or does.
Absolutely not. It starts the whole confusion and contradictory role, and it's just, kind of confusing for the child because we lead by example, regardless of what we say. It's what we do. I mean, think about those parents who are divorced, and one of the parents is constantly promising the kid, oh, I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to call you this weekend, I'm going to see you, I'm going to take you here, I'm going to take you there, and then there are no shows, and the poor child is stuck with their forehead on the window looking down the street for the headlights, waiting for that parent to show up. So it really is leading by example. The actions that you want your child to be instilled with, grow up with, and have integrity and ethics and morals, you need to show them. It's leading by example. So with,
Well, let's
I'm
take a moment and just add on to that in terms of you can't control what the other person's doing. Like, for example, the parent you just said who's not showing up, you can't control any of that. What you can control is your situation. So if you're in that situation where you're putting your child in that scenario of in the house at the moment, and a better space would be for them maybe being by the window, not having the parent show up, but you are the one there then to do something about it. So again, we can't control anyone else. No one else is going to change without them wanting to change. Just let's sit on that for a minute. I mean, you cannot force anyone to change. As much as you would want them to change or you give them ultimatums and stuff, they have to want to do it on their own. And they can do it for 5 minutes or a day, and then they're right back to where they are. People are going to show you who they are. It's up to you to determine, are you going to recognize that and accept that? Because what they say, again, back to the words are nothing. It is the actions. It is what people show you. And what do you want to show your kids is the big question now. What situation can you provide that's going to be the best situation for that one child or children that you have? And that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, and I mean, I would like to piggyback off of that, because if that is an actual situation, I mean, now we're talking about two different things: domestic violence environment, and then the child being emotionally distraught based on the parents saying something and not following through. You can definitely console the child at that moment and utilize that as a learning moment, to teach, again, that you can't control what other people do, and that you empathize with their pain, and you're, hurting with them, because yes, when somebody says something, they are supposed to follow up with their word. Definitely avoiding, bashing, or, making them feel worse because their parent they're already hurting because their parent isn't following through with their words. So, keeping it positive and using that as a teaching moment while you're giving, your love and showing your compassion. That's right there again, back to the emotional intelligence. And unfortunately, that's, kind of emotional abuse that is happening to the child. So, you know, domestic violence, there's so many things that fall under that umbrella. And, we could talk for so long, but we're going to keep it a short video. I'm going to encourage everybody, if you feel like you are, confused about if you are in a situation, or if your environment is, quasi unhealthy, check out the Power and Control Wheel. It's very informative. And if there's anything on there that you see, fits your situation, there's definitely help and different avenues and communities out here, that can help you guide through and or develop some sort of plan, whether it's, to fix a situation from unhealthy to healthy, or, an exit plan for your own personal health. There's a lot of options. I just want to bring the awareness and share some resources, and definitely keeping the children at the center of all of it, because they are the ones that, carry that pain to school. It prevents them from learning. They're hiding their tears and their fears and showing up to school with those things on their mind. It's very important for children to feel safe at home.
And just remember, they're watching what you do, not what you say. So let's work on making that environment as best you can. As like Agape was saying, is there are resources out there, but it's for you to take that opportunity and take advantage of them. And Agape's organization gives you real time situations where you'll be able to get there. So there are ways to do it if you so choose. And again, it's up to you. No one can make anyone change. This is your choice, your decision. What example do you want to set? And so we'll leave you with that today. Agape, remind them how they can get a hold of those resources.
Thank you so much. Yes, you can check me out at Confronting Domestic Violence. For what you want to conquer, you must confront. It's not a negative thing. It's finding a solution.
And for those of you moms out there still not sure what your passions are or what you want to do, come check out connectingmamas.com, where we're going to join together and unite and make this a better place. And that's why I love partnering with Agape, because we're at different places in our time, but we're going to get to the same point of where we just both want to make this a better world. And
That's
we'll
right.
leave you with that today. and make sure that you are leading by example.